NHL referees are far from perfect. There have been multiple moments when a referee's decision impacted an important game's outcome. Referees do have a tough job, but there are some calls you simply need to get right. From game-winning goals that never should have counted, and others that probably should have, to blatantly missed penalties, today we're taking a look at times NHL referees ruined games. Brett Hull's skate in the crease. In the 1999 Stanley Cup Finals, the Dallas Stars led the Buffalo Sabres 3-2. Tied at 1-1, Game 6 went all the way to triple overtime, where Brett Hull scored perhaps the single most controversial goal in NHL history. Mike Modano took a shot from the left circle that was stopped by Dominik Hasek. Brett Hull was not in the crease for the first shot, but the rebound came near his left skate. Hull used it to kick the puck to his stick, which was just outside the crease. His left skate entered the crease only before his second shot went in and ended the series, winning the Stars their first and only Stanley Cup. Hull following the puck into the crease is legal, however the puck bounced out of the crease area and Hull's skate remained inside. Hull gained control of the puck and knocked it into the net without ever having removed himself from the crease. Sabres coach Lindy Ruff was absolutely infuriated, screaming at Gary Bettman to explain why the goal had not been reviewed. In the Sabres locker room, players who had seen the replays were enraged. In a year when the NHL had made it a point to disallow goals scored when any part of a player's body was in the crease, it inexplicably relaxed on the most important goal of the year. The greatest moment in Dallas Stars franchise history was one of utter heartbreak for the Buffalo Sabres. Colton Sisson's disallowed goal. The 2017 Stanley Cup Finals saw the Pittsburgh Penguins meet the Nashville Predators. The Penguins took a 3-2 series lead heading into Game 6 at Bridgestone Arena in Nashville. After a scoreless first, Philip Forsberg took a shot on Matt Murray early in the second period. The shot was stopped, but the puck was still loose and was poked in by Colton Sissons, but referee Kevin Pulock had blown the play dead after Murray's initial stop. The early whistle after the referee had lost sight of the puck was instantly controversial as it was deemed no goal. The game would remain scoreless until there was a minute and a half left in the third when Patric Hornqvist banked a shot off Pekka Rinne to make it 1-0 for Pittsburgh. This game should have been tied at 1 and headed to overtime, but Carl Hagelin tapped it into the empty net. The Penguins took Game 6 with a 2-0 victory, and Sidney Crosby hoisted the Stanley Cup for the second consecutive year. Trocheck tripped, Tavares ties it. The Florida Panthers met the New York Islanders in the first round of the 2016 playoffs. The Isles led the series 3-2, but it looked as though Florida would take a Game 6 as they led 1-0. With just over a minute left and the Islanders goalie pulled, Matt Martin appeared to trip Vincent Trocheck, but no call was made, and seconds later, John Tavares scored the tying goal to send the game to overtime. The game went all the way to double overtime, where Captain Tavares would again get one past Roberto Luongo. The Islanders eliminated the Panthers and were off to the second round. Wayne Sutter's offside goal. The 1980 Stanley Cup Final pitted the Philadelphia Flyers against the New York Islanders, and the deciding Game 6 was marred by one of the most infamous blown calls in NHL playoff history. With the game tied 1-1, Islanders center Butch Goring picked up a drop pass from New York left wing Clark Gillis, which had clearly gone back over the Flyers' defensive zone blue line into center ice. Linesman Leon Stickle waved the play as onside, and Goring threaded a pass to right wing Dwayne Sutter, who beat Philadelphia goalie Pete Peters to take the lead. The Flyers argued to no avail in a time before the coach's challenge existed for offsides like in today's NHL. Flyers captain Mel Bridgman stated the play changed the momentum of the game at a critical time, even though the Flyers scored shortly afterwards to tie the game at 2-2. Stickle admitted after the game that he had blown the call, as the Islanders took home what was their first of 4 consecutive Stanley Cups. The Flames' no goal. The Calgary Flames met the Tampa Bay Lightning in the 2004 Stanley Cup Final. In Game 6, the Flames likely scored what should have been the Stanley Cup winning goal. Martin Gelinas appeared to beat Nikolai Habibulin with a redirect to put the Flames up 3-2 in the third period of Game 6, but play was not stopped, the goal was not signaled, and the game continued on. The Flames had a chance to win the Stanley Cup on home ice, but instead lost in double overtime when Martin St. Louis scored, going on to also lose Game 7 as the Lightning won their first Stanley Cup. At the time, the NHL didn't have the ability to whistle down the play and conduct a thorough video review, nor did they have the many camera angles that they do now. But that still didn't stop a similar situation for the Flames in the 2022 playoffs. Blake Coleman had a goal waved that would have broken a 4-4 tie in Game 5 of the second round with the rival Edmonton Oilers, but a kicking motion was determined and the play was called no goal, leaving Flames fans with an all-too-familiar feeling. John LeClair's side goal. It was Game 2 of the 2000 Eastern Conference Finals between the Buffalo Sabres and Philadelphia Flyers, who led the series 1-0. The Sabres were up 1-0 in the second period when LeClair wound up for a slap shot on the right wing against Buffalo goaltender Dominik Hasek. The puck was in the net and the siren went off, but neither LeClair nor Hasek seemed to register that the shot had actually gone in. In reality, LeClair's shot had went through the side of the net. But once it had been realized, the referees ruled that too much time had passed since the goal and let it stand. The Flyers won the game 2-1 and took the series in 5 games. This left Sabres fans enraged, just 1 year removed from the previously mentioned Brett Hull non-goal. The Gretzky high stick. On the list of villains and scapegoats in the Toronto Maple Leafs' nearly 60-year Stanley Cup drought, referee Kerry Fraser is near the top. In Game 6 of the 1993 Conference Finals, he failed to call a blatant high stick by Wayne Gretzky on Doug Gilmour that even drew blood. To make matters worse, the Great One scored the game-winning goal moments later, and the Kings went on to win the series in 7 games. Leaf fans have not let Fraser forget it. Makar's offside. In Game 1 of the Western Conference Final between the Edmonton Oilers and Colorado Avalanche, Cale Makar intercepted a bounce pass from Darnell Nurse to Evander Kane. He then walked in and sniped it past Mike Smith to give the Avs a 3-2 lead. Only issue is, Makar looked to be offside as Valeri Nichushkin hadn't crossed back over the blue line. Oilers coach Jay Woodcroft immediately used his coach's challenge, but the referees deemed it a good goal as they felt Makar didn't have complete control of the puck. The Avs won the game 8-6 and swept the series. The Jets throw the puck in. This clip is a popular highlight on most hockey blooper reels. The Chicago Blackhawks and Winnipeg Jets were tied and they headed to overtime, and then this happened. During an overtime period, Blackhawks goaltender Ed Belfour was trying to clear the puck, and a Winnipeg Jets player intercepted it before gloving it into the net. After video review, the referees strangely awarded the Jets a goal and the victory. The Blackhawks players were furious and swarmed the referees as head coach Daryl Sutter came running and screaming across the ice. Brad May's no goal. In the third period of a 2009 game between the Detroit Red Wings and Dallas Stars, the Stars were leading 2-1. Red Wings forward Brad May fired a backhand at the net and the whistle was blown. May and the other Red Wings players suddenly began to celebrate, and the replays indicated that the puck had clearly crossed the goal line. The game should have been tied at 2, but the referees deemed it a no-goal since the whistle had been blown, and the Red Wings went on to lose 3-1. Pageau's no goal. In the first round of the 2015 playoffs, the Ottawa Senators met the Montreal Canadiens. With the Habs leading the series 3-2, Game 6 was underway in the nation's capital. In the second period, with Montreal up 1-0, Mark Borowiecki ripped a shot on Carey Price. It was stopped, but JeanGabriel Pageau slid the rebound in right as the referee blew the whistle. The replay showed that Price never had control of the puck, and therefore the whistle never should have been blown, but alas, no goal. In the final seconds of the game, Max Pacioretty would fire a puck the length of the ice and into the empty net, sealing a 2-0 series win for Montreal. Faust's overtime winner. In the first round of the 2023 playoffs, the Carolina Hurricanes faced off with the New York Islanders. Carolina held a 1-0 series lead as Game 2 went to overtime, tied 3-3. Jesper Fast scored 5 minutes into overtime off a cross-zone pass from Jordan Staal, but it appeared as though Islanders defenseman Scott Mayfield took a high stick to the face that went uncalled. The Hurricanes went on to take the series in 6 games. The Timo Meier hand pass. Game 2 of the 2019 Western Conference Finals saw the St. Louis Blues and San Jose Sharks go to overtime, the series tied at 1 apiece. The game winner was scored by Erik Karlsson off of a clear hand pass by Timo Meier. The Blues players, including infamously temperamental goaltender Jordan Binnington, went straight to the referees in frustration as the St. Louis fans threw trash onto the ice. Luckily for the Blues, they still went on to win the series and capture the Stanley Cup. Perreault's Game 5 goal. Speaking of the St. Louis Blues 2019 Cup run and missed calls, here's one that went their way. The Blues led 1-0 in the third period of Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final, with the series against the Boston Bruins tied at 2 games. What looked to be an obvious trip by Blues forward Tyler Bozak on Noel Acciari went uncalled by the officials on the ice, and moments later, David Perreault scored what was ultimately the game-winning goal. The Boston faithful were livid as Acciari had to leave the game early and their team was trailing. But which time an NHL referee ruined a game angered you the most? If there's one you felt should have been included, let us know and we might just make a part 2. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to hit like if you enjoyed and click subscribe for more NHL content. We'll see you in the next video.